Hello, Capricorn rising. I'm Britten LaRue, and this is Scopes Unshamed, June 2026. Before I get into it, I want to make sure that you know that my big offering is coming up. The big doorway into my world is opening June 21 through the end of the month. I have a 1 to 3 year program, like a roll through the depths of my teachings known as the Emergence Astrology Pathway. I created this pathway because I noticed that since I started teaching in 2019, that my students would not only stay for at least 3 years doing everything that I do. Very few people would come in and do like one thing. People come in and then they stay and they do everything. But there was this persistent kind of anxiety that they were doing it in the wrong order. And so I created the Emergence Astrology Pathway as a way to consolidate and confine and refine my teachings to a very particular pathway that we move through in the most intelligent sequence possible for like maximum receptivity, maximum potency, maximum transformational catalyzing. People who come into this space are interested in new ways of being. This is not an astrology classroom. It's a space where we turn to astrology to hold us as a language of repair, as a language of recovery, as a language of remembering, as a language of renewal. And I invite you to come in and to let it mutate you and to reorganize the way you exist on planet Earth in your body in relationship to other human beings at this time. It's big, it's deep, it's profound, and it's going in a particular order now that I've spent so much time sitting with to feel into the intelligence with my guidance, with myself, with my business. This is the way it wants to roll through. So I'm very excited to be opening the doors on the solstice, the 21st. For now, just take a moment and look at the course page. There's a link in the caption. I'm inviting you to go just check it out, explore it, sense in your body like, how does this resonate? Is this calling to me? Do I want to give this to myself? Do I want to give myself this transformational experience? Are the things that it's going to change in me things that I'm calling in right now? And if so, I would love to spend the next year to 3 years with you as we do that. All right. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at June, Capricorn rising. So, first off, I want to say since you are a cardinal rising sign, the cardinal signs start the seasons. They are very initiating energy. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. You're Capricorn rising. We cardinal risings, I say we because I'm Aries rising. We cardinal risings like really feel that, like, first of all, there's a lot going on right now. Second of all, there's a lot going on in cardinal signs, and we're about to change a season. So we are closing out a season that Aries started, and then we're going to be moving into Cancer. So in this reading here, I want to share some Cancer themes and some Gemini themes that are part of your June. Okay, this is the things that I recommend keeping an eye on. First of all, you have Cancer in a really important place in your chart. It's the polar sign of Capricorn. So, Cancer is a really big deal for you, whether you have placements there or not. I invite you to take Cancer seriously as a big deal. It is the sign that's governing what we call your seventh house. So, where your rising sign is like, this is me. Who am I and where am I going? The polarity of that is this is me in relationship to somebody else. This is me opposite the other. This is me from a counterpoint position of the fact that I am relative to who I'm also with. So it's fascinating this way because no matter like where we think we're going and what we think we're doing in our lives, we're also social beings who have contracts and agreements with different people in our lives, and they mutate us, they change us, and we reorganize through our relationships to them, and we do that to them as well. So, Cancer is that for you. So, it brings up an important part of your life, which is you and your relationships. And anyone that you have what we call agreements with, like contracts. Sometimes contracts are legal, like we have jargon where it's like, I'm agreeing to this, you're agreeing to that. All contracts, whether they're legal or not, have energetic agreements where we energetically agree to certain things, and so do they. And it's like, this is how we are in relationship. And energetically, the way to keep a relationship the most free, where you really feel like both parties are free to be themselves, is to keep those contracts updated to present time because they were forged in the past. So when the relationship starts to feel really confining and yucky, it's because it's old. The contracts are old, and somebody or both parties are not really in present time inside the relationship, and that dissonance doesn't feel good. So we humans are constantly needing to update our contracts. And there's certain times of the year, depending on your rising sign, when you will be most invited into these updates. So for you, Capricorn rising, Cancer season and around Cancer, when there's different planets and going through Cancer, that stuff's going to come up for you. So this is what I would say. First off, the beginning of the month, you have Venus moving through that house. So there's this kind of like connecting energy that you may feel like the universe is helping you with the glue to help you connect and helping you feel into resonance with others. Where you don't feel resonance, Venus is also going to show you that too. Venus is very helpful at identifying resonance and dissonance. So you may notice where things feel good and you may notice where things feel don't good. It's all information to help you understand things about your contracts and if anything needs updating. And on the 9th, there's a special thing happening where Venus will meet Jupiter, and Jupiter is finishing a whole year in that house for you. And there may be some like closing ceremony that the two of them are bringing you through with something in your partnership. So look for that. I really don't know what that could be. All I can say is look to your relationships to tell you what that transit means June 9th, and look around it too. All right. I'm going to come back to the Cancer sector, but I do want to talk a little bit about Gemini because we begin the month in Gemini season, and then we're going to have a new moon in Gemini. That's when the moon and the sun come together in the sky on June 14th. So a new lunar cycle will begin. And so Gemini themes will be up. And for you, you have Gemini in the sixth house. The sixth house is kind of a house that we ignore, but it's really important. And it has to do with our energy bodies. Like the fact that we live in bodies and we only have so much energy to do the work in a day that we want to do to serve our lives. So when things are wonky in that zone, there's maybe something inefficient or even irresponsible about the way we're caring for our energies and our bodies, the health of our bodies. And that might come through like overworking, or it might come through like not getting good sleep. It could come through like not going to the doctor, unshaming not going to the doctor, but like, keeping in touch with your health, keeping in touch with your vitality, because this can be a zone of like illness. And I'm not saying you're going to have an illness, but it is a time of the year for you when you might be aware of like, this pattern is like losing my energy, or like this pattern is feeling like it's not good for me. When the sun's moving this through this space for me, I often get a lot of information around like where I have shame that I wish I could do more, but I just can't. Like, I feel like I'm falling short of my what you can do in a day with your energy, given the fact that you indeed only have 24 hours in a day inside of the body that you do have that is slowly aging. And it like illuminates where I really need more compassion with myself for being a human. So like talk about unshaming. Like I think it's if that resonates, like that's really the invitation is like, why do I think that I have to do all this stuff? And why do I think I have to do it a certain way in order for it to be of value or like successful or something I can be proud of? Because then you can identify how much of that is from overculture, how much of that is shame culture, how much of that is like actually unloving ways of relating to yourself and to your body and to the literal limitations that we have in our bodies. Being humans on planet Earth is just a thing. So if that resonates, then that new moon ritual, June 14th, could very much be about listening for how to and making plans to weave more self compassion into your daily life and how you care for yourself and your energy. That's what I have to say about that. Um, the last thing I was going to say, oh, yeah, going back to Cancer. So the month goes on, and the Cancer themes will get bigger. The seventh house themes will get bigger because the sun will move into Cancer. And we also have Mercury moving through Cancer. And even more, Mercury starting to slow down because Mercury is going to station retrograde in Cancer on the 29th. The pre-shadow, we call it the before retrograde window to keep an eye on, June 12th through the 29th. Themes are arisen. Like, look for the themes. That's your job. What are the themes? What are the themes coming up in my life, especially with my one on one partnerships, especially with communication, how I'm communicating, how I'm receiving, how I'm interpreting, how I might be projecting, how they might be projecting on me. Where's my agency and authority given that this is, in fact, the thing humans do? How do I want it to feel? What does all this bring up in my feeling self? How can I support myself where I feel afraid? How can I support myself in the very vulnerable business of being in relationships? So, those are the themes. That's the data to watch. The wisdom that I would impart is to try as you can to not pathologize, to not make any impulsive, rash decisions, to not be reactive, to really sit back and look at the data and let it accumulate over time before making any big claims about what it means. Because you're going to probably regret claiming that you know what something means prematurely. You need to give it time. So, this is calling on mature discernment as you move through the month. Give it into July. In July, I'll talk to you about the timing of insight starting to drop in. All right. I hope that's helpful. Please check out the link to Emergence Astrology Pathway. I would love to have you in there if it's calling to you. Cheers.